A Game of Thrones would not have a story if not for the Tourney of Harrenhal, which acts as the catalyst for everything that goes wrong in this damn series. This tourney, which is shrouded in mystery, eventually leads to the beginning of Robert's Rebellion, the toppling of the Targaryens, the death of half of the Starks, and we don't know a lot of the stuff that's going on. Like, we might in the future, because they're actually, like, making a play out of this, but, you know, let's talk about what we do know. Because if you like Targaryens, this is where it went wrong. So the Tourney of Harrenhal takes place in 281 AC after Conquest, in what is known as the Year of the False Spring. It had been winter for 2 years, and then everything started to thaw out a bit, and they're like, hey, is it spring? Are we done with, you know, the frozenness? And then no, eventually it wasn't. But during that false spring, the Tourney of Harrenhal occurred, you know, as you can see, because there's Harrenhal being melted in the background. And this tourney is crazy because basically every important character that ever exists in the books that is alive at this point attends this tourney. And like, what are y'all doing? You have all the Starks. You have Ned Stark, his older brother Brandon, his younger brother Benjen, their sister Lyanna. You have all the Targaryens. You have Rhaegar Targaryen, his wife Elia Martell, his father, the Mad King, Aerys Targaryen. You have Howland Reed, because, you know, we need one more international man of mystery at this event. Oh, not to mention international woman of mystery, Ashara Dane is also here. Because why not? Why not all the people who know things being in this one event? So to be fair, this event is the thing that they, like, know things from. That makes sense? Now you might be saying, like, okay, so it's like a tourney. It's at Harrenhal, and, like, people are there. Cool, what's the big deal? Conspiracies, man! There's conspiracies! At least there's rumors of conspiracies. So let's report on the rumors of conspiracies. So at the time, a tourney of this size, because this tourney, again, was attended by everyone. Robert Baratheon! How can I forget freaking Robert Baratheon was there? Like, obviously. But anyway, why is everyone here? It's because the tourney is, you know, giant. But tourneys like this do not happen all the time. The last one was thrown by Tywin Lannister to mark Aerys, the Mad King, you know, having 10 years on the throne. It was like a, yee, look at this. And then 10 years later, you know, around the 20-year anniversary, Lord Went of Harrenhal, who is the unfortunate family that is running Harrenhal for, you know, the time being, decides to throw this giant tourney and invite everyone, because that's just so fun and swell. But remember, this is Lord Went. Lord Went, whose, like, you know, main property is Harrenhal, this smoldering mess. In other words, Lord Went does not have money, so how is he paying for this? And the thing is, we don't know. Because a lot of the characters in the series speculate that Lord Went would not be able to pay for this. He does not have the means, he does not, like, you know, have the money, so how did it get paid for? Well, according to the Maesters, there is some speculation that there may have been a secret benefactor, a secret person paying for everything. But who would have enough money to pay for this? Well, there's Tywin Lannister, but that doesn't feel right. Tywin is actually one of the few people who is not here for reasons. Him and Aerys are, like, no longer friends at this point, so he's staying clear away. So if it's not Tywin, then we need someone else who has access to a shit ton of money. And wait, who has access to a shit ton of money but the royal family? Oh, hi, Rhaegar! So it is heavily speculated by the Maesters and, you know, other people in universe that Rhaegar is actually behind the Tourney of Harrenhal. And the reason that it needed to be so big was to attract all the lords from the kingdom. He needed everyone to show up so that he could talk to everyone. When you know, one of Rhaegar's sworn swords on the Kingsguard is a Went, the brother of Lord Went, who, you know, weirdly visits his brother the year before the Tourney of Harrenhal happens. So we speculate that that was when basically Rhaegar urged him to do it and said, hey, I will fund you, just set this shit up for me, okay? Here's your money, do it. Because by this point, Aerys Targaryen has really started to lose his marbles. He's burning people, he's not what he used to be, he is, like, in terrible mental decline. And while that's happening, it is causing lots of issues between Rhaegar and Aerys. They are not getting along at the moment, because, you know, Aerys is cuckoo, and Rhaegar's like, hey, I need you to not wreck this shit before I get it. Maester Pycelle, in his letters back to the Citadel, talks about how the court is very divided in King's Landing right now, because you have basically Rhaegar loyalists and Aerys loyalists. And if you're wondering why Aerys has loyalists, it's because, remember, he's not, like, in a good state of mind, so anyone who feeds his paranoia and is, like, you know, a very good lapdog, he rewards very generously, and these people don't want the gravy train to end. So Pycelle, in his description of, the environment, says that things are so tense and he's never seen a court so divided. It sounds very reminiscent of how it was described right before the Dance of the Dragons between Rhaenyra and Alicent. Hey, connections! So when this tourney gets announced, Aerys is immediately very suspicious. They'd be very suspicious about everything. Some of the lords who are loyal to him tell him, you should put a stop to this. He's probably, conspiring behind your back. Like, this can't stand. We got to do something. And Aerys goes, I got it. I have the perfect solution. I will go to the Tourney of Harrenhal. And that kills two birds with one stone. One, no one's going to want to, do canoodling and shenanigans under my nose. And the other thing, people don't really like me at the moment. And won't it be nice for the people to see their king and, love me once more? Yeah, that don't happen. So Aerys ends up going and, potentially screwing up Rhaegar's entire scheme. And let me tell you, it does not reassure the people about Aerys' cognitive abilities. Remember, most of these lords, because Westeros is huge and they don't just, get together on the weekends, they have not seen Aerys in, 10 years. 10 years ago was before he had been imprisoned in Duskendale and, really started to lose his shit. He had been, a pretty chill king before then, and, well, now he isn't. Now he has these giant, long, gross yellow fingernails, and he has these crazy mood swings where he's, going from screaming to crying to staring out into the distance without any emotion on his face. And let's just say the lords were not encouraged. But still, Aerys tried to make a show of it. He chose the Tourney of Harrenhal to be the location where they did the investment of Jaime Lannister as a Kingsguard, which, ended up being kind of a double-edged sword for Aerys. Because Aerys did it to fuck with Tywin and be like, haha, I have your son now, what you gonna do? But then after he made him a Kingsguard, he's like, oh no, I have Tywin's son with a sword standing next to me day and night, and I'm paranoid. So he quickly sends Jaime away from Harrenhal because he's like, oh, I can't have this kid by me. Go back to the castle, kid. Jaime's like, I wanted to joust. Suffice to say, though, with Aerys there, everyone is on their best behavior. Unless your name is Lyanna Stark. Now, in A Storm of Swords, we hear a very interesting story from Jojen and Mira Reed, who tell Bran about the time their father Howland Reed, remember, International Man of Mystery, was at Harrenhal and got attacked by 3 squires. These were just 3 squires of some of the knights that were competing at Harrenhal at the tourney, and they decided to beat the shit out of Howland Reed because as a Crannog man, that whatever ethnic group, if you will, from the neck in Westeros, they're all very short. So these 3 squires all just took turns beating the shit out of him until Lyanna Stark shows up. Now, Lyanna, who is described by Ned as looking and behaving a lot like Arya Stark, just to give you the mental image, she grabs a tourney sword and then proceeds to beat the shit out of them and chase them off, the 3 squires. The Starks try to, patch up Howland Reed as best they can, and then they go on with, the feasting and the tourneys. But later on, a mystery knight appears, a knight that would become known as the Knight of the Laughing Tree. I think this illustration is very cool. He's called the Knight of the Laughing Tree because, as you can see, on his shield, there is a very crudely painted weirwood with a smile painted on its face. Now, this knight is described as being very short and possibly Crannog men themselves, as, Jojen and Mira tell it. And then, they enter the tourney and they specifically challenge the knights who are in charge of the 3 squires that beat up Howland Reed. The Knight of the Laughing Tree very quickly beats all 3 of them, in the process winning their armor and their horses. And then afterwards only promises to, sell or give them back if their knights reprimand their 3 squires. I'm sure you're with me here. Hi, Lyanna. And it's not confirmed, but 2 + 2 = 4, But this is where it gets interesting, because when Aerys saw, this mystery knight who no one knew who their identity was, and he saw the shield, he thought the shield was laughing at him. So he thought the Knight of the Laughing Tree was laughing at him as well, and decided to order that he be brought before him so that he can reprimand him or whatever. Because, paranoia. But despite everyone looking, and Aerys even sending Rhaegar to go look for them, they didn't find him. Rhaegar came back empty-handed. And then the next day, when Rhaegar won the entire tourney and was given the opportunity to crown the Queen of Love and Beauty, he did not choose his wife. Instead, he chose Lyanna Stark and placed a laurel of blue winter roses on her lap. sent her older brother Brandon into a spiral, and he had to be physically restrained because he thought that Rhaegar is, making a pass at his engaged sister while he's already married. Conversely, Robert Baratheon claimed that he wasn't angry and said, no, it makes sense, she is the most beautiful, but secretly he was pretty pissed too. And then, of course, a year later, Rhaegar and his knights would see Lyanna Stark again near Harrenhal, where they would spirit her away, leading to the Starks going south, the Starks getting burned, and Aerys demanding the heads of Robert and Ned, only for Robert's rebellion to begin. Okay, bye.